All right, welcome back, everyone. So today we are talking about a pretty big deal in the automation world, and that's the jump from AutoHotkey V1 to V2. If you're a programmer or just a power user who's been around V1 for a while, you know it's powerful, but it's got its quirks, right? Well, V2 is now the official current version, and it really does change the whole game. So let's get you up to speed on what you really need to know for this transition.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start with why V2 is so different. Then we'll get into setting up your environment, check out some tools to make the transition easier, dig into the new syntax, that's a big one, and finally look at how commands and functions have been totally rethought. Okay, first things first, why is V2 so different? Why is this such a major shift? Well, the long and short of it is that V2 is a complete, fundamental rewrite. They built it from the ground up to be a more modern, a much stricter language. And here's the kicker. It is not backward compatible with version 1. Your old scripts won't just run out of the box. So this slide really gets to the core philosophy change here. Think of V1 as the Wild West, right? It had this legacy syntax, super forgiving rules, which was kind of nice when you were starting out, but man, it could lead to some really weird, unpredictable bugs. And the biggest thing? Everything was global by default. Yikes. V2 just completely flips that on its head. It brings in a much stricter modern syntax, and maybe most importantly, variables inside functions are now local by default. If you've ever coded in Python or JavaScript or pretty much any other modern language, this is going to feel way more familiar and honestly a whole lot safer. And look, let's be real. Nobody's saying this is some simple, painless upgrade. As the automator says right here, it definitely takes some getting used to. But, and this is a big but, the overwhelming feeling from the community is that it's absolutely worth it. The gains you get in consistency, better error handling, and just modern features, yeah, they make the learning curve totally worth the effort.
All right, let's talk setup. Because before you even write a single line of V2 code, getting your environment right is the foundation for everything. Trust me, doing this correctly from the start will save you a ton of headaches down the road. Okay, now this is super important, and it feels a little backwards, so listen up. If you're on a new machine or doing a fresh install, you actually have to install version 1 first. Then you install version 2 on top of it. The reason for this very specific order is that the V2 installer is smart enough to see the V1 installation and set itself up to coexist peacefully. It makes sure everything plays nicely together in the same directory. And once you've done that, you get this, the new launcher dashboard, which is awesome. This thing is so smart, you don't need to worry about different file extensions like AutoHotkey V1 or anything. It just reads your script and figures out if it's V1 or V2. You can even set defaults like, hey, always run my V1 scripts in 32-bit. And if it's ever confused, it just pops up and asks you. It's a massive quality of life upgrade for sure. Next up, your code editor. And this one's a biggie. If you're using an older editor, you're probably gonna have to switch. The V2 syntax is just so different that you need good syntax highlighting to stay sane. The two main players right now are Cite for AutoHotkey, it's lightweight, it's the official one, or if you want the whole shebang, VS Code. Seriously, trying to write V2 code without an editor that supports it, it's like trying to write an entire novel in Notepad. I mean, you could, but why would you put yourself through that? Okay, your environment's set up, you're ready to rock. Now let's go over a couple of tools that were built specifically to help bridge that gap between V1 and V2. Now this little thing, the #requires directive, is an absolute game changer. It's just one line of code you pop at the very top of your script. All it does is tell the launcher, hey, this script needs version 2.0. It's fantastic. It gets rid of all the guesswork, your scripts launch faster, and it completely prevents those annoying errors where you accidentally run a script with the wrong version. Seriously, make this a habit. Put it in all your new scripts. So you might be wondering, is there a tool to just convert my old scripts? And the answer is kinda. There are a few out there, some with a graphical interface, some that work with a hotkey, but, and you really need to hear this, they are not magic wands. They're great for converting little snippets, maybe a few lines here and there, but if you try to throw a huge complex V1 script at them, it's not going to work perfectly. Think of them as helpful assistants, not a one-click solution. All right, let's get into the real meat of it, the new syntax. Now, we're not going to get bogged down in lines of code here. Instead, we're going to focus on the two biggest conceptual shifts that, as a programmer, you just have to wrap your head around. Okay, here's the first huge one, variable assignment.
You remember in V1, right? That whole confusing mess where var equals value could be literal text, but then you had to use percent signs to force it to be an expression. It was the source of so many bugs. Well, in V2, that's just gone. The I plus equals operator is now king, and it always means you're dealing with an expression. No more guesswork, it's clean, it's consistent, and it just wipes out a whole category of frustrating errors. And the second massive shift is variable scope. This is just as big. In V1, everything was global by default. A function could just reach out and mess with a variable anywhere else in your script, which could lead to absolute chaos in big projects. V2 fixes this by adopting the standard you see in almost every other modern language. Variables inside a function are now local by default. This protects your variables, it enforces good structure, and it makes your code a million times easier to debug. And finally, let's touch on commands and functions. The old command syntax in V1 was, let's just say it was another area with a lot of inconsistencies. V2 really cleaned house here, reimagining almost everything to act more like a proper function. It brings a ton of consistency and clarity to the language. So this table gives you a nice summary. The syntax is way stricter now. You can't just start a command with a comma anymore. They've also reordered the parameters on a bunch of commands to make them more logical. Those old subcommands, a lot of them are now just their own separate functions, which is way better. And for anyone building apps, this is huge. The syntax for GUIs and menus is so much cleaner and simpler. The big takeaway here is one word: consistency. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? The move to V2, it's not just another update. It's an evolution. It's AutoHotkey growing up, really. It's maturing into a modern, powerful, and, most importantly, predictable scripting language. It's all about enabling us to write better, stronger, more reliable code. And I think this quote from the Automator just says it all. Make a pledge to work smarter, not harder. That's exactly what this is about. Yeah, learning V2 is an investment of your time. But it's like sharpening the saw. You put in the effort now, and all your work from here on out is going to be faster, smarter, and way more effective. So we'll leave you with this to think about. Now that you have a language with a modern syntax and stricter rules, how are you going to use AutoHotkey V2 to work smarter, not harder? What new doors does this open up for your projects? That's the exciting part. Thanks for tuning in.